Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Joanne Smedley, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Chief Petty Officer Damien Crick. We warmly welcome the members of the Royal Australian Signals Association who are here to commemorate the service of all signallers who have served in communications from the early beginnings in 1869 in New South Wales and Victoria as a small torpedo and signal corps, to service during the First and Second World Wars and the subsequent conferring of the title by His Majesty King George VI to become the Royal Australian Corps of Signals. And since that time, service in all operational areas, including Korea, Malaya, Borneo, Vietnam, Cambodia, East Timor and the Middle East. We thank you for your service. As always, but particularly today, we welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. We also welcome the Officer Cadet School of New Zealand. During the ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors. Please stand and join in the singing of the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Corporal Reginald Charles Hayden. Charlie Hayden was a red-haired, blue-eyed cab driver from rural New South Wales who enlisted just a few weeks after the outbreak of the First World War. He enlisted in Casino and was posted as a private in the 9th Battalion. Just 2 months later, he left Australia and arrived in Egypt in early December 1914. Hayden was present at the landing on Gallipoli and, apart from 3 months recovering from a gunshot wound, stayed there until the evacuation in December 1915. After Gallipoli, Charlie Hayden was transferred to the 49th Battalion as a part of the reorganisation of the AIF and sent to France. He was then promoted to Lance Corporal in the Signals section of the battalion. The 49th Battalion's first experience of war on the Western Front came at Mokay Farm in August of 1916. Hayden was commended for his excellent service in running messages when all other lines of communication were cut off by heavy artillery and machine gun fire. He also, with 2 other men, helped to keep the wire communications open during the heavy bombardment. This usually involved running out to repair damaged lines under heavy fire. For his bravery in conducting this work during this operation, he was awarded the Military Medal. Charlie Hayden's bravery in the field and devotion to duty also brought him further promotion in September of 1916, when he made corporal. On the 24th of November 1916, Corporal Hayden and 2nd Lieutenant Philip Tuckett went to inspect telephone lines in the field near the French village of Flers. This was not expected to be a particularly dangerous task, but they came under some artillery fire and were both struck by a single shell. Hayden and Tuckett were killed instantly. Charlie Hayden was buried together with Philip Tuckett in a single grave in the field under a cross that bore both names. Hayden survived the landing at Gallipoli and the hellish shell fire of Mokay Farm. Tuckett had been in the front line for just 4 days. Charlie Hayden's father was given the military medal on behalf of his son, as there had not been time for Charlie to receive the medal before his death. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, along with 60,000 others from the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of courage and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Corporal Reginald Charles Hayden and all of those Australians who have given those lives in service of our nation. We shall not grow old as they that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. Thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial, and good evening.